Islam Makhachev just dominated Jack Dela Maddalena in the main event of UFC 322 to officially become double champion and your new welterweight champion. And what a performance it was by Islam Makhachev. I know there's going to be people, the Dagestani hate, boring. Islam's boring. I know there's going to be that. We're going to address all that. But Islam Makhachev, arguably the pound for pound number one, arguably the GOAT of the sport, GOAT at lightweight. I really don't think there's any doubt about that. And also double champ status. And he's snatching up win streaks like it's going out of style. He's ending win streaks like it's going out of style. And he just treated Jack Dela Maddalena like a scrub. He just treated Jack Dela Maddalena like a trash can. And while maybe it wasn't his most exciting performance ever, he treated JDM like he did not belong. He treated prime JDM on an 18-fight win streak like he did not belong in there. The welterweight champion. It was really insane to see. And I'm telling you right now, and we're going to break this down in this very video, Bilal Muhammad hustled you guys. I tried to tell you. Send Craig Jones to Dagestan 2-3 years and forget. Dumbest narrative I have ever heard in my entire life. And make no mistake about it, Islam dominated JDM in the grappling. And this was a very grappling heavy fight, but he butchered JDM on the feet as well. JDM essentially had one moment in the entire fight. And other than that, he had his leg taken from him with filthy leg kicks from Islam. Islam was tagging him on the feet and taking him down at will. We'll go through it round by round. First 30 seconds, Islam lands 3 good leg kicks. JDM rushes in. Kind of a tenseful moment because they're both fresh. Doesn't really land much. And then JDM gets taken down. Easy trip takedown, clinch up, trip takedown. JDM tries the scramble, gave up his back, ends up in half guard, gets controlled. JDM just kind of surviving. Really not trying to do much from the position in half guard. Islam landing some ground and pound, fishing for a Darce. And eventually at the end of the round, JDM tries to kind of scramble out. Islam ends up like standing up against the fence. And JDM's on bottom and there's like a leg entanglement. And there's a weird camera angle. But JDM's like throwing up kicks really with his heel rather than like the bottom of his foot. And he lands an up kick to an Islam Makhachev who's down on a knee. A brutally illegal up kick from JDM, kicking a downed opponent. Herb Dean warns him immediately. The round ends right as the up kick lands right on the chin of Islam, by the way. Lands right on the chin. You can tell Islam's actually pissed about it. Like, what the fuck? You just kicked me in the face while I'm downed? They separate. Herb Dean warns him in the corner as well. He warned him when it happened live, but then warns him in the corner. Second round. So Islam, easy first round. And basically, once he got that easy first takedown, I knew it was a wrap, but the only thing I was really questioning is Islam putting on that weight and size. Usually it's good for the cardio, but by any chance is it possible that Islam starts to slow down and gas out in this fight? That was really my only question. Other than that, after the first round, I knew it was an absolute wrap. Second round, Islam attacking the legs again, winning the striking, clinches up, JDM tries a trip, and ends up on bottom. Islam scrambles out right on top. They kind of both go down on their faces, and Islam ends up on top and basically just control from there. Islam starts doing some damage, landing some good elbows, fishing for an arm triangle, and then late, JDM kind of scrambled up as Islam was looking for a Darce, and then they end it in the clinch, I believe, as Islam's throwing knees in the clinch. Islam clearly wins round 2. Complete domination, 1 and 2. Third round, you can really see JDM's legs starting to really be compromised. I believe it's the third round where he starts switching stances because Islam is bashing that lead leg. So now JDM's trying to fight out of orthodox. He's standing there, really not doing much. Just standing there kind of flat-footed, trying to fight out of orthodox, really not doing anything. And eventually, Islam gets a takedown. Actually, before that, I was trying to think back. Third round is where JDM had his only good moment of the entire fucking fight. He's getting his legs bashed in. They clinch up, and they're both kind of throwing in the clinch. JDM starts ripping to the body, lands a couple body shots, and then they break out of that. Islam shoots a double leg, gets him down with ease, starts landing some good elbows in half guard, and starts fishing for a Darce again. Late, Islam, while he's fishing for a Darce, JDM ends up in like a sprawl position and then tries to scramble, and it looks like maybe JDM is going to end up on top at the very end, but no, Islam reverses, ends up on top to end the round. Round 4, I mean, Islam's already up 3 rounds at this point. JDM's had his only moment ripping shots to the body in the third round for like 3 seconds. Islam, I don't know what round it was, and there was, I mean, honestly, it was throughout the fight, but Islam was landing some decent punches too. There was one really good left hand. He was landing a couple jabs as well. Round 4, Islam was chopping the legs, then got an easy takedown, just dominated him, controlled him in half guard, and then I think JDM actually tried to scramble for a change because he really looked defeated on the ground at this point. Islam took his back. It was a filthy back take, and then he has the body triangle, then goes up to trap the arm within the body triangle as well as he's fighting for the rear naked choke. As this is happening, or right before this happens, right as the back is taken, JDM digs his toes in the fence. So now, you know, and he also did that a little bit in round 2 as well. He's digging his toes in the fence brutally. It doesn't help him at all. He gets controlled. He eventually gets out of the bad position on the ground where his arm's trapped and Islam has his back, but he ends up back in half guard. Islam slamming down some elbows. And then round 5, basically the same again. I believe it was an easy double leg takedown. JDM came out. He knew he was down 4-0. He came out a little bit aggressive. He gets shot on with a double leg and really had no, I mean, he just fell to the ground. Looked like a fucking Taffa brother out there. That's how bad he looked. That's how bad Islam made him look. And Islam wins 50-45. I'll put this up. Islam is your new double champion. He is your new undisputed welterweight champion. And this really was a dominant performance that I know a lot of people are going to call boring. They're going to cry about it. They're going to hate on Islam for this performance. JDM had nothing to fucking offer. He barely tried to scramble in this fight. The entire time Islam had him on the ground, he was either throwing ground and pound or fishing for a guillotine or a Darce choke, or there was multiple times, I think it was in the 4th and 5th round, looked for Kimuras. I didn't even mention that in the breakdown. There was multiple times. So Islam's fishing for Kimuras throughout the fight, fishing for Darce chokes and guillotines throughout the fight, and also going for rear naked chokes as well, and landing decent ground and pound. Was it his most action-packed performance ever? Absolutely not. But to go out there and fight a prime JDM on an 18-fight win streak, I believe it was, which we're going to talk about win streaks in a second because Islam's just snatching up win streaks like they're infinity stones. And to make JDM look like a fucking scrub is fucking insane. The level of technical ability on the ground. The striking looked incredible. He brutalized the leg. He basically disabled JDM in the first 30 seconds. That's a bit of an exaggeration. 3 heavy leg kicks in the first 30 seconds. Go back and rewatch it. And from there on out, JDM really had nothing. And then once he cemented the grappling in the first round, JDM's just standing there scared of the leg kicks, but also scared of the takedown. He's frozen in fear. Then he gets taken down, and he's scared to scramble. I mean, I know people are like, Craig Jones, the dumbest fucking narrative I've ever heard in my entire life. Craig Jones, man, he's the anti-Dagestani wrestling weapon. I've heard this. I've heard Sanko say it. I heard Dean Thomas say it. I've seen other people say it in comments and live chat messages. And I'm like, where did they hear this at? Where did they find this out at? Because JDM squeaked out a razor close fight boxing with Belal Muhammad. Belal Muhammad hustled you guys. We're going to get to that in a second. I truly don't understand the Craig Jones Dagestani killer narrative. This dude was what, 0-4? Was he training Dan Hooker, I'm assuming? When Islam went out there and ripped his arm off? He was training Volkanovski when Volkanovski got beat 4-1 in the first fight, and people acted like it was a brutal robbery. Somehow Volkanovski won, and Islam outstruck him and outgrappled him as well. Then in the rematch, Volk got brutally head kick KO'd, and now JDM gets dominated and treated like a little bitch on the ground. Treated like a little trash can. A literal trash can. And by the way, I like JDM. I know I've made a lot of jokes in the lead up to this fight. JDM's never touching that belt again, man. He was a fluke champion. He was a fluke champion. I know that's going to hurt people like Ariel Helwani. JDM, as good as he was, Bilal gifted him that title. Bilal decided, you know what, I got a chip on my shoulder. I'm going to prove to everyone I'm one of the best strikers. He went out there and struck with JDM and lost his title because of it. He did not try to actually grapple, especially early. And because he didn't grapple, you had people convinced that JDM was a god anti-wrestler. Now he's got Craig Jones in his corner, and Craig Jones is going to know what to do here. It was crazy even debating with people when they were saying, man, JDM, he's got such good anti-wrestling. Basil Hafez took him down at fucking will. Took him down at will. Gilbert Burns, the same. Like, I couldn't believe it going this far. I know JDM had the ability to clip him and finish him with volume because he's not even a one-shot KO guy. But, like, how do you look at JDM versus Basil Hafez, where JDM wins via split decision, JDM versus Gilbert Burns, where JDM pulls off a Hail Mary KO, and think, yeah, Islam, who's a way better grappler, can't beat him because Bilal boxed with him for 5 damn rounds. I just don't get it. I really don't get it. So Bilal hustled you guys. The people who thought JDM was going to win this fight, he really hustled you guys because Bilal convinced people. Bilal Muhammad was the true friend to Islam Makhachev. He really was. Because Bilal Muhammad not only convinced the fans, not only convinced the media, but also convinced JDM he could stuff takedowns. And he couldn't. I mean, did he stuff I don't know if he stuffed a single takedown in this entire fight. Every takedown Islam went for, he wanted, he got. I really don't remember. Maybe there was one that Islam like half-hearted went for and the stats say he didn't get it. But every time you wanted to take down, every time you wanted to ragdoll JDM to the ground, he got him there. But because Bilal didn't try to grapple, it was so obvious. I called it live. I called it in the post-fight. People were saying I was coping over it. Because Bilal didn't try to grapple, people rewrote the story and said, JDM neutralizes Bilal. And by the way, Islam is a far superior grappler to Bilal and better BJJ as well. And probably stronger as well. We don't know that for sure. You're telling me because JDM won a boxing match, razor close boxing match with Bilal, he's somehow going to stuff the takedowns? It made no sense. Made absolutely no sense at all. And I said this before, I'll say it again. I believe that Islam Makhachev may be the best striker in the UFC. Some people misconstrue that and they say, Joe, best striker in the UFC, Joey. What? What about Alex Pereira? The threat of the takedown sets up the striking. That is MMA striking. That is MMA striking. I said it before going into the Volkanovski fight. Brutally chinned him with the head kick. I know that was off the couch Volkanovski, but still, first round head kick, super impressive. Outstruck Dustin Poirier. By the way, one hip 40-year-old Dustin Poirier did better than prime Jack Dela Maddalena. How fucking crazy is that? Islam Makhachev saves the division. JDM, no personality, sells no pay-per-views, has no Instagram followers. And man, all he does is try to survive against high-level grapplers. And in the 5th round, JDM tried to scramble a little bit, ended up regaining guard. I believe they were in half guard. He ends up getting Islam back in full guard. Islam throwing down ground and pound. The MSG crowd chanting, Islam, Islam, Islam. Not only is Islam the pound for pound number 1, in my opinion, not only is Islam potentially the all-time GOAT of the sport, Islam is officially the biggest star in the UFC. I truly believe that. And it's not just Muslim fans like a lot of people like it to make it out to be. Islam is known by a large portion of the non-hardcore MMA audience. I'm not saying he's got like wide mainstream appeal, but a lot of people who know who Islam Makhachev is. And now he's the double champ. Now he's the welterweight champ of an absolute shark-infested division. And this man is snatching up win streaks like nobody's business. It's absolutely insane. Let's actually show that on screen real quick. Islam Makhachev, win streaks broken. How can anybody deny the greatness of Islam Makhachev? Volkanovski's 22-fight win streak. Saryukian's 12-fight win streak. Oliveira's 11-fight win streak. Moicano's 4-fight win streak. That is insane. And now Jack Dela Maddalena's 18-fight win streak. That is absolutely insane. That is absolutely insane to pull off a feat like that. And I know 28-1, Islam Makhachev. People are going to be like, man, this guy's boring, man. Because JDM laid on the ground, giving off effeminate cucky vibes, and basically tried to survive, was scared to scramble, was scared to move because he was scared of getting subbed up. But, I mean, look at this. Look at this. 18 wins via finish. 18 wins via finish, 10 via decision. How can you call this guy boring? How can you call this guy boring? I just don't get it, man. I really don't. I really don't get how you can call this guy boring. It makes absolutely no sense. He neutralized a prime JDM. He embarrassed and humiliated a prime JDM. And, I mean, on the feet, I know it wasn't on the feet for a crazy period of time, but he shut him down on the feet. He brutalized. He took his leg on the feet. He chopped at those legs. He landed good shots with the hands. He never really got touched himself. Islam never got touched in this fight outside those couple body shots in the third round. And maybe the brutally illegal up kick. It's crazy. Islam Makhachev is one of the biggest stars in the UFC. I believe is the biggest star in the UFC right now. And I don't know what they're going to book next. I know a lot of people want the Ilia Topuria fight. I don't necessarily want to see Islam go back down to 55. And that's the only place I would really be interested in that fight. He calls out the White House card. Islam versus Topuria on the White House card would be fucking insane. But do we really want to see Islam cut the weight back down after he's gone up, put on muscle mass? And by the way, I think JDM was bigger. I felt like a lot of people were trying to sell going in this fight. Man, Islam's massive for welterweight. No, he wasn't. I'm not saying he was undersized by any means, but JDM looked bigger and he also looked more muscular. He looked more defined. Now, I'm not dropping my trousers looking at fighters getting on the scales, all right? But I don't know. Maybe people are going to try to sell the narrative that Islam somehow was just a massive weight bully and that's how he bodied JDM. No, JDM had nothing to offer. His takedown defense has been suspect for a long time. And now, I don't know where JDM goes from here. Maybe he can go fight Leon's bummy ass, who's on a 3-fight losing streak now. We'll talk about that in the full card post-fight, which I will link in the description. But this was a great win from Islam. I know it wasn't the most exciting, but when's the last time Islam's been in a boring fight? Again, bunch of finishes here. You look back, Moicano easily dispatched him in the first round. Poirier fight was amazing. Volkanovski fight was amazing. Oliveira fight was amazing. And I think Oliveira was like number 2 or 3 pound for pound. Volkanovski was number 1 pound for pound. Volkanovski was number 2 pound for pound here. Jack Dela Maddalena on the pound for pound list as well on an 18-fight win streak. He's snatching up win streaks. He's snatching up quality fights, quality wins against guys who were high in the pound for pound list. And the people that gave him no credit for beating Volkanovski, oh, he's just a featherweight. What do you have to say now that he dominated JDM? Other than crying, oh, he's a boring crotch sniffer, man. He's a boring crotch sniffer, man. He's a Dagestan. Oh, the Dagestani haters are fucking seething tonight, boys. I'm drinking. You know what? Let me take a drink of the Dagestani haters' tears before we go. Oh my God. Pound for pound, number one. GOAT in the sport. GOAT at lightweight. Best striker in the UFC. Biggest star in the UFC, potentially. Whoo, the Dagestani haters are mad. Ariel Helwani's crying like a little bitch. I could see him trying to hold in the tears, man. It's music to my ears. We have to realize that right now we are witnessing greatness. And it's something we really have to appreciate. I've said this time and time again. We have to appreciate these guys when they're in that special moment in time, because like that, drop of a hat, flip of a switch, it's gone. It's gone. Islam's getting up there. He's getting towards his mid-30s. He's had a crazy run for years. And man, is that welterweight division looking scary as hell. Shavkat Rakhmonov. Oh my God. Islam versus Shavkat. Banger. Islam versus Ian Machado Gary. Banger. That's if Gary wins next week. Islam versus Michael Morales. Banger. Islam versus Carlos Prates. People will act like it's a banger, but Islam would wreck him badly. Prates would get embarrassed by Islam. Has absolutely no chance against Islam. Don't even care for that fight. Prates shouldn't even be in the number one contender discussion. Rogan was acting like he was bona fide number one contender for beating Leon. We'll talk about that in the full card post fight. But man, those incels, those racists, those Islamophobic fans who just like to cry when Dagestani fighters win, who just like to cry when Muslim fighters win, they are seething tonight, because a lot of these people who hate on fighters based on their religion, they convince themselves, they're like, oh man, Islam's going to get beat up by JDM because Craig Jones. Oh, but Craig Jones, man, he's the Dagestani, man. He's got the answers. When? Show me. Point to me. One example. What I can't stand is these made-up fairy tale narratives that make absolutely no sense, that have no evidence. Have no evidence. It makes no sense. JDM got mauled tonight. He got dominated tonight. And while it wasn't the most exciting performance I have ever seen, we truly witnessed history. I mean, what a historic picture. I just remember this as a tweet. GOAT of lightweight, GOAT of the sport, pound for pound number one, double champ. I know the Dagestani haters are seething right now. And they are. I can't wait to see what's next. That welterweight division looks crazy. Topuria is calling him out and also saying JDM's a complete embarrassment. I don't know where we go from here, but Islam saved the division because JDM had no personality, no Instagram followers, sells no pay-per-views, gets no YouTube views on Embedded, and we really needed someone to save the division from JDM, the split decision merchant. Split decision against Kevin Holland and Basil Hafez. What a joke. Pulled off a Hail Mary against Burns. And again, I'll say this, and this is nothing. I know I'm joking around about JDM. That's a bit satirical there. I mean, listen to all the guys I named. Whether it be Gary, whether it be Shavkat, whether it be Michael Morales, whether it even be Sean Brady, whether it even be Bilal. I don't think JDM's even top 6 right now. He's very, very good. He's an elite fighter. But I just don't think he'll ever touch that belt again. I really don't. I don't know where he goes from here. Maybe he fights Leon. If it's up to me, I book JDM versus Sean Brady. That's a fight that was supposed to happen way back when. I wouldn't mind seeing that. They're both coming off losses on the same card. But man, that's a tough fight. And for the welterweight, I guess you have to make Islam versus Topuria. It'd be too big, man. Topuria is one of the bigger names in the sport. I think he's a bit AstroTurf as a star. But imagine Islam standing across from Topuria. Now, this may be crazy, and maybe I'll backtrack from this. If you're going to book Islam versus Topuria, make it for a catchweight at like 165. Because I don't want to see Islam cut all the way down. I don't want to see Topuria go up to 170 and kind of look chunky. I think you make it at 165. There doesn't need to be a title on the line. They're two of the greatest fighters in the organization right now in their primes. Let's see it. Roll it at 165. I don't want a fake belt made for 65, though. I don't want a new weight class. I just want a catchweight fight At the end of the day, does it matter if they're fighting for a belt or not? It certainly doesn't matter to me. And maybe I'll backtrack from this later. But I don't want to see Islam cut the weight. I don't want to see Topuria show up tubby. I just want to see them both at their best. And I think 165 would be a really solid compromise. And man, what a performance from Islam Makhachev. A lot of haters are seething tonight, boys. But yeah, like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. I'll be doing a full card UFC 322 post-fight. I actually really enjoyed the card. Islam Makhachev, your new pound-for-pound #1, your new GOAT of the sport, potentially. That might be up for debate. And double champion. Absolutely insane. Treats JDM like a trash can. I'm trying to remember. Is there anything else I'm forgetting? I don't think so. Oh my God, this video is already very long. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video.